Okay, let's dive right in. I'm gonna make a bet. I bet you're a huge fan of this Russian composer from like way back in the 1800s, and you have absolutely no idea. No, seriously. His music, it's probably in your favorite movie, or maybe even that video game you've been grinding for weeks. Today we're talking about the one and only Tchaikovsky.
You know that moment, you're deep into a movie, or maybe you're about to face a final boss in a game, and the music just swells, and boom, instant chills, right? That epic feeling that just hits you out of nowhere? Well, guess what? Creating that exact feeling, that was basically Tchaikovsky's superpower.
I'm telling you, you've heard this guy's stuff everywhere. Think about it. Those massive, epic movie soundtracks? That's him. Those viral Christmas videos that pop up every year? Yep, probably him too. Championship ice skating routines where they're going for the gold? You bet. And yeah, those action-packed video games where the music makes the final battle feel legendary? It's Tchaikovsky. He's been hiding in plain sight this whole time.
So, how does someone go from a totally boring 9-to-5 desk job to being a musical legend whose work we're still talking about today? Well, every hero has an origin story, right? Let's dive into his.
Okay, so picture this. Little Tchaikovsky starts piano lessons when he's just 5 years old, and right away it's clear he's a total natural, a prodigy. But his parents weren't really thinking rock star composer. They wanted a safe, stable career for him. So at age 10, they pack him off to boarding school to study law. For years, he did the responsible thing, working as a government clerk. Sounds thrilling, right? But then, at 22, he does something huge. He quits his job to become one of the very first students at Russia's first ever music conservatory. He just went for it.
And this was the choice he was facing. It's almost like a character selection screen in a game, you know? You've got two paths. Path number one, the safe path. You're a government clerk, you get a stable career, a steady paycheck, but you're also completely unfulfilled and kind of miserable. Then there's path number two, the risky path. You're a music student. The future is totally uncertain, you have basically zero money, but you get to follow your passion. What do you choose? Well, he chose the risky path. He bet on himself.
And let me tell you, that risky choice, it paid off. Big time. Because Tchaikovsky didn't just write some good tunes. He completely changed the game for an entire art form. Let's talk about how he basically hacked ballet.
All right, so here was his secret move, his ultimate ability, if you will. He called it symphonic ballet. Now, before him, ballet music was fine. It was just background music, something to help the dancers count their steps. Pretty boring. Tchaikovsky looked at that and was like, no way. He thought the music should be a main character, just as important as the dancing. So he upgraded the whole system. It's like going from a game's simple, repetitive background music to a full, epic, cinematic score that tells the story and hits you right in the feels.
So what were the patch notes on this upgrade? First, the music now tells the story. It's packed with all the emotion. Second, he created these super memorable melodies, the kind of tunes you're humming on your way out of the theater. He even used something called leitmotifs, which are basically character theme songs. So when you hear a certain melody, you know exactly who's on stage. He mixed in traditional Russian folk songs with classic European styles, and by doing all this, he totally leveled up ballet music. It wasn't just background noise anymore, it was serious art.
All right, let's get to the greatest hits. If his life was an RPG, these ballads would be the legendary main quests you just have to complete. He dropped this unbelievable trilogy of ballets that are still huge all over the world. The first big one was Swan Lake, this super dramatic story about a princess who gets turned into a swan. Next up, he did Sleeping Beauty, the grand royal fairy tale that everyone knows. And for the finale, he gave us the Nutcracker, that magical holiday adventure. And I promise you, you have definitely heard the music from this one. But get this. Here's the plot twist. When Swan Lake first premiered, it was a total disaster. A flop. People in the audience and the critics, they thought the music was just too much, too complicated. They said the dancers couldn't even follow it. It's a pretty good reminder, right? Even geniuses don't always nail it on the first try. He was crushed for sure, but he didn't give up. Okay, so fast forward to the Nutcracker. Tchaikovsky decided he needed a secret weapon for this one, and he found it, a brand new instrument called the celesta. It makes this incredible, magical, bell-like sound. It was so new, nobody in Russia had even heard of it, so he actually had to smuggle it into the country in secret because he wanted it to be a complete surprise for the audience on opening night. And man, did it work. And you can see the difference right here. Look at that. Swan Lake, rough start, low reception, but he learned from it. He adjusted, and then bam,
Sleeping Beauty and The Nutcracker were massive hits from day one. It really just goes to show you, persistence is everything. Your first attempt doesn't have to define your whole story.
So, we've talked about the music, but what about the man behind it all? Let's get into the endgame content, his life and the incredible legacy he built. Tchaikovsky's fame didn't just stay in Russia. Oh no, he went global. He became a full-on international superstar, traveling the world, conducting his own stuff, and check this out. In 1891, he was invited to New York City for the grand opening of Carnegie Hall, which is like one of the most legendary venues on the planet. He was a legit A-lister of his time.
So you might be wondering, how did he afford to just be a composer? I mean, that risky path didn't pay well at first. Well, for 13 years, he had a secret supporter. A super wealthy woman named Nadezhda von Meck became his patron. She literally paid him a salary just so he could quit his day job and write music full-time. But their deal came with one very, very weird condition.
And that one condition was this: they would only ever talk through letters. They agreed they would never meet in person. Can you imagine that? The person funding your entire life, your whole career, and you never even see them. They exchanged hundreds and hundreds of letters, pouring out their deepest thoughts on art and life, but they never, ever met face to face. Wild, right?
As he neared the end of his life, he wrote what many people consider his ultimate masterpiece, his Sixth Symphony. It's also called the Pathetic Symphony, and it is just unbelievably powerful and emotional. And the craziest part, he conducted the very first performance of it just 9 days before he died. It was almost like his final message to the world put into music. So, what's the final score? What's his legacy? Well, in a way, he basically achieved immortality. His music has infinite replay value. It's still everywhere, in movies, games, ads, you name it. His ballets, they're performed thousands of times every single year all around the globe. And the reason is simple. His gift for turning human feelings into pure sound is just timeless. To this day, he's still known as the most popular Russian composer of all time, period.
Look, if you remember only one thing from all of this, make it this. Tchaikovsky's genius was turning feelings into sounds. That's it. Whether it's joy or sadness or love or pure magic, he found a way to make you hear that emotion loud and clear.
In the end, his music was his greatest hit. It was his legacy. And it's something that's still shaping our world right now. So it kind of makes you wonder, doesn't it? What's your greatest hit going to be?